who the Houston Texans have been all season. Not making excuses for them because they got people on the COVID list. Not making excuses for them because they got people injured. That's not something that you're going to see me do on this channel. It is what it is. They're a very undisciplined team without a coach who have a few bright spots, and those bright spots, mainly Deshaun Watson, they show up every week. And some of those ugly spots also show up every week. I'm definitely talking about that running game. Jesus Christ, we can't stop anyone going through any gap on any second at any time. That is who the Houston Texans are. They're a very inconsistent team, very undisciplined team, a team who is desperate for the season to be over so they can find a new GM, get a new head coach. Fortunately, though, Houston Texans decided not to put in any official request through the NFL protocol to try to get any interviews for these coaches who currently will be coaching in the postseason. I'm talking about your Eric Bieniemys. I'm talking about your Robert Salehs. I'm talking about your Eberflus. I'm talking about Brian Daboll. I'm talking about I don't know, whoever else they're looking at when it comes to being in the playoffs. Basically they decided that 2 hours, which was the limitation that they were being given, was not enough, and the fact that you couldn't bring them and in person was the other factor. But nonetheless, we have one more week to go. And I'm interested to see what happens now that the Titans seem to find themselves in a familiar territory. And what I mean by familiar territory, well, we had nothing to play for week 17 last year. We basically gave the keys over to the Tennessee Titans, and we know exactly what happened. The Tennessee Titans decided to do what? They decided to take advantage of that and go on a run themselves in the playoffs. And so they got to the AFC Championship game. We got destroyed, clobbered, brought down to earth against the Chiefs, who then went to beat the Titans themselves, who also had a lead at one point. And that basically was a wrap. But anyways, man, I'm just trying to find this picture here so I can post this thing, man. Let me see if I could just favor this crap. There we go. Let me do that. Let me bring this over here. Albums, favorites. There we go. What the hell? What happened? There we go. Add. All right. Here we go. All right. So it is already 5 o'clock. So I'm not sure how many of my subscribers are actually working, or will be dropping off here shortly. So I will finish my Madden League, which I regret putting so much time on, because still be getting these boys like nothing. Welcome to the stream. Hit that like button, hit the share button. Let's get this party started. Talk about the state of the Houston Texans. One more week. Hopefully it's a good week. One more week, and like I said, ruin it for the Titans. And if that's the case, they might find themselves out of the playoffs, and it will make me no happier than to see my Bravo, who, by the way, has said that if he loses Arthur Smith, there's a possibility that he goes and gets Billy O'Brien to be the new OC for the Tennessee Titans. I find that extremely interesting. Given O'Brien's track record when it comes to his enemies, I think the only guy that he truly did struggle to prove a point, he went against definitely a lot of former players. I will say this, though. Last year, Kareem Jackson did get the best of him. When it counted, Honey Badger did get the best of him. And obviously Mike Brable did beat him one game. And what a footballer, what a Willock. And eventually, I guess they got to the AFC Championship, so you could say that definitely counted for something. Oh, pick, let's go. Let's go. Let's go, man. Hey. Imagine seeing this from your corners. Couldn't be my team. So, with that, man, I want to address a couple of things. The obsession with thinking that a defensive-minded coach is going to come into the Houston Texans without needing to, 1, restructure contracts, without needing to, 2, cut players, without needing to, 3, look at free agency because you don't have a first, you don't have a second-round pick, and you're not finding the next J.J. Watt in the 3rd round. I don't give a damn how many people try to convince me that because of COVID, there might be a lot of players that drop. When in the history of the Texans have we been the type of team that finds that gem that should have gone in the 1st round, and we picked them up in the 3rd? I guess you can make an argument for Justin Reed, but Justin Reed did not play like a 1st rounder this year. To me, he took a step back. This whole defense took a step back. I'm pretty sure it has everything to do how collectively this team has played. 1, everyone knows how trash Eric Murray is. When I see Eric Murray getting ready to tackle, getting ready to cover anybody, I don't see the team willing to back him up in those tackles. I don't appreciate that aspect because from an aspect, like J.J. Watt says, like, you get paid to do your job, like, and handsomely, which I think was a little overboard because there are some players who are barely making any type of money. But compared to your average person who possibly is making anywhere from $50,000 to $75,000 a year, a $1 million contract is still a $1 million contract. I'm sorry, bro. I don't feel sorry for you. So, what J.J. Watt said, I think holds true. I think Deshaun Watson the week prior said the same shit, except he probably said it in a nicer tone. Today, Romeo Crennel did not deny it. Straight up came out and said what? There are some players who are engaged. There are some other players who are not engaged on this team. For the most part, most players are, but there are a couple who aren't. I'm wondering who he's talking about. I can tell you one person who everybody feels is not engaged. That's Vernon Hargraves. And the reason for that, he does a lot of ball watching when he's playing. He's more concerned about whoever's on the sideline. He's more concerned about what they're saying about him on Instagram and the videos that his familiar people are taking and waiting to end the game so that he can go over there and repost it on his Instagram. There's certain players on this team that's what they're most interested in. They're not interested in helping their craft and looking at this as a scenario of having to climb up a hill and doing the best job that you can and improve in a scenario where your team is just shitty. Nope, they don't look at it that way, and there's a couple of those players here. Vernon Hargraves, is he needed this following year? Probably not. You will need to draft someone. You will need to pick up somebody in free agency at the corner position. You also need to do it at the safety position. When Andre Hall decided to retire, that started a snowball effect that I don't think the Texans were ready to deal with. Was Andre Hall the best safety? No, but he was a safety. He was a safety. He knew how to play the position. Justin Reed been a huge disappointment. Yeah, man, I mean, but like I said, I can blame it collectively on the fact that sometimes when you play with a sorry team and everybody around you is sorry, you start to be indifferent about the things that you choose to do. You start to be like, I'm going to do my job. I'm not going to try to do anything extra. And when it's the opposite, when your team is flowing, it's the opposite, right? You see defenders do what they want to do, and it's a shame because I can tell you one thing. Regardless of Deshaun Watson shredding the Bengals defense, they were still trying towards the end of the game. Like, none of that shit mattered to them, whether they were in the playoffs or they were not in the playoffs. And at the end of the day, You can blame it on COVID. You can blame it on off training. You can blame it on all these different things that you could possibly blame it on. But the Chiefs are not making that excuse. The Ravens are not making that excuse. The Bills are not making that excuse. The Patriots are not making that excuse. They're for the first time in a bunch of years, they're not going into the playoffs. And I've never heard Bill Belichick come out and said it's because I didn't have an off season. So to me, that's one of the things that bothers me about Cornell, because like I get it. But all Bill O'Brien preached to us in the offseason was what? This was going to be a veteran year. This wasn't going to be a rookie year. So why the fuck does it matter that you had the offseason or you didn't have an offseason when at the end of the day you were counting on your veterans to do the goddamn job? No, you guys suck as coaching. The program is no longer believed in because it's not producing any results. And to be honest, it wasn't the moment that you lost that 24-0 or 24-3 lead. That program was done. That whole program was done. And what did they choose to do? Oh, we were so close. We were right there. The Titans got it done. It'll be our year next year. That is not how the league works. You have windows of opportunity. If you do not take advantage of those windows of opportunity, guess what? You end up like the fucking Bears, who haven't had a QB in so long, haven't had a decent post run in so long. You end up like the damn Browns, going with a streak of I don't know how many missed playoffs. Now they're finding themselves in a possibility of missing another playoff if shit doesn't go right for them. Why? Because mediocrity starts at the top. If you allow mediocrity or toxic culture to soothe into your locker room, to soothe into your players, to soothe into your coaching staff, guess what's going to happen? Everything is going to become toxic. It doesn't take a whole lot for the shit to happen. It happens. I remember I was coaching a soccer team, I want to say maybe 2 or 3 years ago. And we were in a very competitive league. And I decided not only was I going to play, but there was nobody who would step up to want to do the coaching. And because I'm familiar with what it takes to train and what it takes for you to be I guess fit to be able to compete at this level, I said, fuck it, I'll do the training, I'll take over the team, I'll be responsible for managing the team. So I had a friend who felt like I wasn't doing the things according to the way he wanted them done. Guess what I did? I didn't argue, I didn't scream at him, I didn't fucking go ranting like a little girl. I literally told him, dude, you're so toxic, I can't have that on the team. I can't have you spreading all this negativity that you have going on onto other players who can easily be swayed one way or the other, because what's easily going to happen is we're not going to be successful, and that is the honest motherfucking truth. I still don't believe Cal and ownership will bring the right people. This organization is sketchy as fuck. Cal McNair doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. And I'm sorry that nobody has fucking said it, but Cal McNair has no freaking idea of what the heck he is doing. I can tell not only by the interviews that are being performed, and I'm not fucking talking about, you know, getting to the Rooney Rule and getting the people that you need to suffice that. That is not what I'm talking about. I completely am not one of those who are on Twitter having a heart attack because we decided to interview Marvin Lewis. That is not who I am. But I will tell you this. When you waste your time on certain coaches, Brian Daboll, in my opinion. Let me see. Joe Brady has came up. When you find yourself reaching for whatever sticks out there, like, it lets me know. Not only has he put in, 3 committees together, and it's like to the point where, like, bro, you really don't know what you're doing. And my best hope is that Andre Johnson, Jimmy Johnson maybe, has enough of a voice where they're not going to let Cal McNair choose the next wrong coach. Many people complain that why should Deshaun Watson get Eric Bieniemy? Well, the motherfucker's doing his research. He's reaching out to the players that are constantly with him and is making sure that Eric Bieniemy is not anywhere remotely close to the guy who just got fired, because Deshaun Watson knows I only have a window to get this shit done. If people think that we have enough time to allow Deshaun Watson to go through this new contract and then is up for a new contract and we still haven't got this shit together, that is not the amount of time that we have. And that is my problem with bringing in a defensive mind guy. You're going to have to solve it with your GM first. Obviously, everyone agrees. Jabari, Purple Drank, everyone who's coming into the chat. If I didn't say your name, I apologize. I appreciate you guys coming through. Hit the like button, hit the share button. We're talking real shit here on this channel. That's what the fuck we do. We don't sugarcoat the shit. I don't fucking switch. I don't fucking say Joe Brady, he's my guy one day. I don't say Eric Bieniemy, he's my guy one day, and then I switch and all of a sudden Robert Saleh is my guy. No, I do my motherfucking research, and I really eliminate people from a fair perspective. I don't make up shit. I say it how it is, and I've preached that on my channel time and time again. And when I'm wrong, like when I was wrong, when I fucking predicted that this team would go 13-3, guess what? I'm wrong. I'm wrong. And for that, and you know what? Deshaun Watson, he's a 13-3 team. This fucking defense, he's not a 13-3 team. This fucking coaching staff is not a 13-3 team. And the best that we were able to do under O'Brien was 11-5, and even at that, people argued because guess what? To me, that's another opportunity that the Texans had to fire the head coach. How do you go 11-5? How do you win 9 games straight? And the first thing you do in the motherfucking playoffs, regardless of you not having a wide receiver or not, because we're seeing Deshaun Watson operate without his top receivers right now, you fucking pull almost a dud against the fucking Colts. You literally almost pull a dud against the Colts. If it wasn't for the refs not really being strict and KQT not being called for that ball that he fumbled through the end zone, like we literally could have fucking had 0 points in that game. And to me, that's when you should have fired O'Brien. But it didn't happen. And here we are today, looking forward to the next regime. And we're all hopeful and prayerful that Cal McNair listens to the right guy, not you, Jack Easterby. I've been told that by, let me see, we play Sunday, we play at 3 o'clock. So I've been told that by Monday, let me look at my calendar. I've been told that by Monday the 4th, January 4th, we should have some type of resignation, some type of mutual agreement, some type of statement from the Houston Texans organization saying that them and Jack Easterby have decided to part ways, and they thank him for his services, and it will be the second biggest celebration we've had this year. 1, being O'Brien being fired, and 2, now Jack Easterby being out the building, and now the real true work can begin. Joe Brady should never be in consideration. He's too inexperienced. Agree. Only thing sucks for EB if selected, he only has a few months to make decisions on draft picks. Look, I think, and I credit Patrick Storm for this because this is not something that I already know, but basically you cannot hire new scouts until the following, I think it's like June or July, which is basically post-draft. So, yes, unfortunately, the guy who comes in for general manager, which is why I am so big on John Dorsey, has to be a guy who knows how to draft without actually hiring their people and personnel because of that particular reason that Purple Drank is bringing up. The fact that you're not going to be able to go and get your own scouts when you come in, the fact that you're not going to have time, the fact that you have a 3rd round pick, I'm not sure how many competitors we're going to get, and the fact that you have so many holes on defense, the fact that you need to restructure contracts, the fact that you need to cut people, that is why the first hiring that needs to happen for the Houston Texans has to be the general manager. It has to be the general manager. You cannot bring in a coach here, especially not a coach that you look. If you bring in a coach here who's gonna do the same thing as Bill O'Brien, make his own decisions, I get the whole conversation with Bill Parcells where he said, hey, you know, if I'm gonna cook, you might as well let me buy the groceries. I get all of that shit. I get that coaches should have a weigh in on who they like and who they don't like. But what I'm truly saying is you cannot bring another coach who's not going to be able to restructure contracts, who's going to give the wrong people the wrong contracts, and then guess what? Now you bring in the next general manager, and not only does he already found a shithole, but there's a shitload of shit that's already sitting in the shithole without being able to fucking rinse it. And that is exactly what the Houston Texans need to make sure that they don't do. That's why, to me, John Dorsey is the guy. The guy literally proved with the Browns that he can take measly contracts that don't mean shit for players that should have never been paid that money. Take those contracts and flip them. You're not going to flip them for first and second rounders. You're going to flip them from fourth to fifth to sixth round picks. But at the end of the day, even if they're future picks, it's better than having to deal with contracts for people that should have never been on this team or should have never been given contracts. To me, Merciless, from everything I'm hearing, Merciless will not be here next year. It's a goddamn shame that the guy that you trade for Clowney, Jacob Martin, doesn't get enough goddamn snaps. It's a shame that this team feels like their rookies are just not good enough to be on the field, and by the time they decided that they were good enough to be on the field, you basically had nothing left to play for. It's a shame that this organization has taken this long to realize who you truly need to lead you to a championship in the city. And it's not just happening with the Houston Texans. It's really across all the organizations for sports in Houston, but mainly we're talking about the Houston Texans right now. And yes, I agree, we need a new owner. But unfortunately, with a new owner, you also risk that that particular owner who buys it might not want to continue to have that team in the city. We know that happened before with the Oilers. As long as he don't deal with cap, Dorsey would be fine. Yeah, I mean, look, Dorsey's not the brightest guy to give contracts. Like, he will pay, like, people that... Now, here's the thing. Don't get me wrong. He's overplayed players, but it's always been the right players. You know, your Travis Kelce, your... Like, those type of players, like, I don't... Like... Because, like, they're always going to overexceed that contract. I'd rather overpay a player than him coming to me in 2 years and saying, yo, I've outplayed this contract. DeAndre Hopkins, I've outplayed this contract. I got nothing else. I got nothing else that I can do for you. I need some more money. I'm not making enough. So that's why I'd rather have, you know, I don't mind people getting overpaid when it comes to that. But, like, Mercer's contract, overpaid. Nick Martin contract, Jesus Christ, bro. Jesus Christ. Nick Martin, dog. That dude, Jesus Christ. My guy. What do you think about when you're snapping the ball? Like, do you not know that you need to block a defender coming at you? Like, is that not strike your brains? Like, has Nick Martin had a concussion? Does anyone know that? Because he sure acts like he don't know what the hell is going on. Like, it is ridiculous. Charlie Heck, Jesus Christ. I've never seen a worse fourth round pick than Charlie Heck. Like, his last name, what the heck? Like, it's fitting. It's literally fitting. Like, I really, like, I say this joking around, but I truly feel like O'Brien drafted Charlie Heck so that he could bring to him the Chiefs playbook, and O'Brien could use it to his benefit. I don't know if to his benefit on the defensive side of the ball, which basically actually got them fighting with J.J. Watt and Anthony Weaver. Him trying to butt in on the defense like he had everything on the offense going. I mean, clearly O'Brien was out of his head. But Charlie was literally predicted to go undrafted. I mean, you can't make this shit up. Whatever we do not mess with 2022 draft picks, please. That's the draft year. We're going to go back around in first and second. Yes, I agree. This year, not only the priority is obviously restructuring contracts, releasing the players that you need to release, and possibly trading some players out of here that can get you some picks in the future. Even if it's in the future, I know a lot of teams are probably not going to want you to give you picks this year, but maybe in the future they can give you picks. There's certain players that should not be on this team that maybe other particular teams say, you know what, I don't mind giving you a fifth. I don't mind giving you a sixth. What's good with it? Who you think the GM is going to be? Like I said, my go-to GM is going to be John Dorsey. That is my go-to GM. I know the Texans are, from what I hear, Texans are not completely so high on him, but I don't give a damn. That is the right guy for this team right now. I don't care if he's not here in 2 years, but trust me, Dorsey can flip this shit quicker than you can flip a fucking pancake, bro. Straight up. Straight up. John Dorsey for GM, EB for coach, Chiefs 2.0. Look, I've already given you guys, I don't think I gave it to you guys here. But this is a guy who came up on my radar. But Eric Bieniemy as your head coach. On your offensive assistant side of the ball, because Eric Bieniemy is going to be a first-time coach and he needs someone who's been a first-time coach recently to help him do it. My proposition is that Eric Bieniemy gets Peterson from the Eagles as an assistant offensive coach, meaning he's basically just going to walk Eric Bieniemy through logistics. Nothing to do with play calling, none of that. Just help him walk through the logistics. And then who I want Eric Bieniemy to get as an offensive coordinator is a guy who is the interim head coach for the Lions. If anyone can tell me who the interim head coach for the Lions right now is, the first person to comment, I'm sending you $5 right now. Sending you $5 right now on sale. Cash App, however you want it. Drop it in the damn comment section. Let's see how live we are in this chat. I'm feeling gracious. I'm feeling lit. I'm feeling good. And guess what? I don't have to have a beer to feel this good. Oh, Willock with the John Bevel. Willock, just drop your Cash App or drop your Zelle info right there, and I will send that to you shortly after the stream ends. Hey man, you got to be alert with me. You never know. I might drop $5 one day, or I might drop 50. There's people that have gotten it on my videos before. Just letting you know, it's really how it goes down. But so I thought you were gonna say Bill. Nah, hell nah, man. Bill O'Brien, bro. Come on now. Hell nah. I don't want nothing to do with Bill O'Brien, bro. Nothing. Let me read that. Who said that? Bro, I was about to unsub. I literally thought you was going to say Bill. No. John Bevel, man. So John Bevel won a Super Bowl with the Seattle Seahawks. He was up there when Salah was there, because a lot of people like to brag about the Legion of Boom, but they don't really talk about the offense. They don't talk about John Bevel. And the fact that really things just got stale. Like, it just, they lost a lot of wide receivers. A lot of people retired on them on the offensive side of the ball, and basically what happened is they needed to bring in talent and draft talent, and they weren't patient enough to allow Bevel to stay there a little bit longer, so they decided to let him go, and then Bevel ended up being the OC for the Lions. And obviously I know he caught COVID, so I don't think he actually called plays this particular last game, but if you guys just watch a couple of things, man, John Bevel, bro. John Bevel, the guy, bro. Him and Eric Bieniemy fucking scheme. Look, Eric Bieniemy is going to fix this running game. If there's one thing that Eric Bieniemy is going to do for this team, is that he's going to fix this running game. That is for sure. Anywhere where you see Eric Bieniemy, his rushers, bro, they rush. They at least are going to do that. Now, please. The only thing I ask Eric Bieniemy is to not feel so confident about his coaching on the running side that he decides to say, you know what? Let me give DJ David Johnson another shot. I'm sorry. I don't know if it was the concussion that fixed David Johnson, and all of a sudden he's rushing good, but he had those spurts with Arizona too. This last year he was with them. He's not consistent enough. He's just not the guy. Move on from David Johnson. Duke Johnson, I don't know if he's up for a contract, to be honest, now that I think about it. Duke Johnson needs to stay. Scotty Phillips needs to stay. Draft another running back. Another running back. I wouldn't mind them getting back Carlos Hyde, but I doubt Carlos Hyde will come to the Houston Texans. I doubt that he would want to come back. He's gonna go on a run with the Seahawks, so we'll see where he goes. I mean, maybe he wins. Maybe if he wins with a ring with the Seahawks, he decides, I got my ring. I'm gonna go. I'll go help Deshaun. We don't know. But regardless, you still need to draft a running back, a decent one, I would say. And then everything else in the draft needs to be. Give me your Zelle or whatever I can get you this Monday, bro. Let me know. So 2 out of 14 exactly. Yeah. I'm with you. I mean, shit got to be consistent. Like, I think anybody can have a good game here and there. Like, me on the soccer field, I'll see somebody like, bro, they're having a hell of a game. Come next week, this shit is just shit. It's just shit. McNair can't fuck this whole, man, it's right there. Bro, like, I'm saying, like, how? Eric Bieniemy is the guy, bro. He's the guy. He's the guy who can get the best coaching staff. Everybody who keeps bringing up this fucking LaFleur guy like he's a fucking genius on offense. It's not the same as his brother with the Packers. All right? It's not the same guy. And please do not discredit Aaron Rodgers. Do not pretend like this guy went to Green Bay and all of a sudden Aaron Rodgers started balling. Aaron Rodgers has been balling with McCarthy. You see what McCarthy's doing with the Cowboys. So please, people, stop pretending like certain players don't elevate other players. Mahomes likes Eric Bieniemy. He loves Eric Bieniemy. He likes the fact that he's not a guy who settles for mediocrity. And I know many people will make the same argument about Robert Saleh, but I'm not convinced that Robert Saleh can make this defense any better, especially not in 1 year. The guy is going to depend on talent. I'm pretty sure the one thing that Saleh is going to want to do with his GM is try to go spend some money on defense. And on top of that, who he's going to bring on the offensive side, they keep saying the brother for the Packers head coach. And it's like, if you go research about him, if you go look about him, you're like, bro, he ain't shit. What are y'all looking at, bro? What are the hell are y'all looking at? But all people want to do is get on the little channels, rant about EB, not give you one goddamn reason. But the only reason they go to is he doesn't play call. He's not on the mic calling the plays. Who the fuck gives a fuck? He did it when he was the assistant head coach for the Vikings. What are you telling me? He did it when he was at Colorado State. There was people who came on my video for the Eric Bieniemy that I did a week ago that literally are fans of that crazy little school in Colorado, who people keep forgetting that in college, guess what? If you're not a big school, you're not going to recruit much. And if you can't recruit much, your team is shitty. Your team is shitty. And yet, people still find the video. People still commented that they loved the job that he did with them in Colorado. Meaning, at least the motherfuckers were competitive. At least the motherfuckers were doing something. But hey, that's the only excuse that they will give you. And you know, I'll credit Robert Saleh. He was the DB coach in Seattle when they won that championship. But not one motherfucker can tell me what coaching tree Robert Saleh comes from. Where does this guy come from? And literally, if you go look and you research and you look at all the people that he's been around, for years, he didn't even hold a coaching position with the Texans, because people like to go that. They like to point out that he was with the Texans. Like, go look, like he was literally, quality analyst for the longest. And then eventually, I think Kubiak got fired? I can't remember who was it that got fired. And all of a sudden, he was the only guy left. And it's like they gave him a role, an opportunity to coach a position. But it's like, bro, let's stop pretending like Robert Saleh is this fucking genius on defense. Like Wade Phillips, that's a motherfucking genius. He can get your shit going from one day to the other all of a sudden. Remember how good he turned our defense? We were fucking last. All of a sudden, we're middle of the pack. Like, that's a guy to me that can do it. Now, it'll be interesting though. I mean, look, I don't know, man. I wouldn't mind Wade Phillips back here for a couple of years. I wouldn't mind that. I don't mind it. But I know everybody may probably not get him. I forget the guy that we mentioned that's a linebackers coach currently. That's a possibility that Eric Bieniemy brings him in as defensive coordinator. That's another important thing. And I've said it many times, and I've admitted it. If Eric Bieniemy turns out to be like Andy Reid and decides, I'm going to be good on offense, so it doesn't really matter who I hire as DC, he's gonna fuck up. And we know that Eric Bieniemy, being a minority coach, you don't have the window that a white coach would have. You literally have 2 years. In 2 years, you have to prove that you're the right head coach. And so Eric Bieniemy has to make sure that the staff that he puts around Deshaun is one that is going to be elite, that's going to be able to fix a lot of this shit going on. And that GM, man, that GM definitely needs to align. I hope we could draft Nick Bolton and maybe, if possible, draft Ambry Thomas from Michigan. Now, I'm going to be honest, Purple Drank. One of the reasons that I haven't really dipped into the draft is because I'm curious to see what this new GM is going to do. Because the right GM for this Texas organization, they're going to take a lot of these contracts and they're going to decide to restructure them. And based on that restructure, you're going to open up cap space. Somebody told me that the guy on Twitter who's, I think, at is Texans Cap, said that everything that he's been looking at, the right GM could come in here and literally give you $50 million of cap space. If the Texans' new GM comes into this motherfucker without trading J.J. Watt, comes into the motherfucker and clears $50 million worth of cap, Jesus Christ, bro. Jesus Christ. Because what that means is you can literally go out in free agency and fix a lot of these holes on defense. Like at one point the Texans did when we got Wade Phillips. We went and got out Jonathan Joseph. We went and got Daniel Manning. Who else did we get? We got a couple of pieces on the defensive line. And all of a sudden, from being pretty much last in the NFL, we went to middle of the pack. Asmo, we need some defensive players, mainly secondaries and pass rush. Yeah, man. The one thing that hurts me is the Conley thing. That thing, it's so tricky. It's so tricky because, man, nerve damage, man. That's a big thing, man. Nerve damage is terrible. And from everything that I hear from people who've had that surgery, just like he had to go back in and get another surgery, you know, there's times where these people, man, they just continue to try to have surgeries to fix these nerve damages because the pain just does not go away. And I feel sorry for Gary Conley because I know he really wants to stay, but I doubt that the Texans are going to offer him top money. I mean, why would we? It's a huge risk. Do you see Merciless, Gain, and Murray? Yeah, they're going to be gone. I'm pretty sure they're going to be gone. Yeah, it sucks about Conley. Defensive O-line, RB is urgent. Yep. Let him walk his foot and is long gone. Let him walk his foot is long gone. Yeah, and that's the thing. Everybody keeps talking about this Jackson kid from the Bengals, but the amount of cap space that the Bengals have, like, I don't see them being that stupid that they don't pay him. Like, they might not pay AJ Green, even though lately I think there's been talks that they are going to keep him, even though at one point they were saying they wouldn't. So it's a possibility that they let AJ Green walk. I wouldn't mind AJ Green here, to be honest. A year, 2 years, cheap deal. I don't mind it. But we don't really need it, right? We need it on the defensive side. So with Merciless, how do you think they will let him go with his contract? I don't give a fuck. Honestly, I don't give a damn how they let Merciless go. Whether they fucking hit him on his ass, hit him on his head, hit him with a pan, I don't give a damn. Just, dude, bye. Trade him. Get a 5th round pick. Get a 6th round pick. Just do it so elegantly to the point where I don't want to hear nothing about Merciless ever again. The dude is going into his 10th season and looks like he's been playing for 15 years. Like, the dude is really old. I was just watching the Houston Texans game that we had against the Raiders, which is basically his last good game, his last good year. And, man, the speed off the edge that he had, his ability to chase after being blocked, it was just way different, bro. It's crazy what 4 years has done to Merciless, but truly, man. Now, another thing, it could be that Merciless just is one of those players that J.J. Watt is talking about, and he just doesn't give a fuck, and it's like, whatever. Like, he could be one of those players. Like, I'm not too sure. Regardless, though, I think it's time to move on. You have Jacob Martin there. I mean, give the guy is talented, man. I mean, he's not the best at running tackle, but the guy gives you his all. Like, he's young as hell. You traded for him. Give him a goddamn chance, bro. You know, it makes me sick. It really makes me sick, the fact that, you know, we could have literally found J.J. Watt's replacement or someone alongside J.J. Watt this particular year if we would have had a 1st round pick, even a 2nd round pick, to be honest. 3rd pick in the fucking draft. The Dolphins are doing that because of us. I made this suggestion in the Discord, the Saw Sports Discord the other day, on Sunday actually before the game. I said, man, what if this team would have gone with Roderick Johnson at left tackle or right tackle, and would have left Titus at left or right? Do you guys still think that our results right now wouldn't be the same as they are with Laramie Tunsil? Like, I like Laramie Tunsil, bro, but what he has cost us to what we've benefited, it's like it's not there. It's not there. It's just not. To me, it's like, and here's the other factor. Here's the other bigger factor why I feel like we really didn't give it a fair shot. You have the shittiest offensive line coach in the league. The shittiest. Literally, you got the shittiest offensive line coach in the league. What happens when you bring a good offensive line coach here? That's what bugs me, man. These motherfuckers literally tried to fix everything for this team by bringing talent that didn't need to be coached. They spent all their time trying to find talent that didn't need to be coached. Think about it. What did O'Brien say about David Johnson when he brought him in? Oh, he was a guy that we had our eye on in the draft. Like, you weren't going to try to develop David Johnson. Like, your whole thing about bringing him in was you're bringing a running back who you don't have to teach how to run. Well, guess what? You do, because the motherfucker's vision is fucking terrible. I'm gonna lose it, and if they keep John Perry and Mike, nah, man, I really think this whole staff is gone. And I know Deshaun Watson tries to, I don't know, fucking stand up for Tim Kelly, but I think it's probably just Deshaun being a nice guy. It's just really Deshaun being a nice guy. Remember when Rod literally tossed Tyrann in the air? Yeah, man, bro. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, if we had Roderick at right or Titus at right with that game, we don't lose against the Bengals, bro. We don't lose against the Bengals. Even with Tunsil being out. Like, the pressure was not coming from the left side. The pressure was coming from the right side. Like, Charlie Haig was a fucking terrible pick. Like, that's the guy that's the guy that this Mike Devlin guy wanted to draft? Charlie Haig, bro? Fire everyone, including the janitor and the concession staff. He's like, do you think they will actually listen to Deshaun and Harry B? They better. Deshaun Watson has put up with enough. Deshaun Watson has put up with enough bullshit from this organization. For you to completely ignore him, not value his opinion, not value the research that the man has done, you're basically telling Deshaun Watson, finish this contract, buddy, and then find yourself a new home. I mean, what else is he doing? He wants Eric Bieniemy, bring him Eric Bieniemy. Shit, if he wanted Robert Salah, you should bring him out Robert Salah. I wouldn't be saying shit. The guy knows what this team needs, bro. It ain't James Harden talking about we need to trade all these players so that we can have. I know what we need. No. This is not the same guy, bro. I know how people feel that way. I've heard people commenting about it. You can't compare Deshaun Watson to James Harden. That is not who we're dealing with right now. This guy came from championship, bro. He knows how a program to win a championship is built. He was the first guy to win it for Clemson under Dabo. He knows what it takes for shit to get built. He knows the coaches who have it, and he knows the coaches who don't. For you not to listen to that guy, man, you'll be making a great mistake, bro. A great mistake. For real. No goddamn lie. Oh, Will, like, oh, man. Good luck, bro. They really hate Eric Bieniemy over there. And like I said, they really have no reason for it. They literally have no reason. All but that Andy Reid calls the plays. That's all they will argue. That's literally all they will argue. Nothing else. They'll ignore all the Vikings experience. They'll ignore Andy Reid's history about every single offensive coordinator he's ever had. And the fact that everything that they do is done collectively. And the fact that he is literally a mentor who wants his people to succeed. He's not Bill O'Brien, who wants to hold a pen, who just wants to have someone in the position so that they can have the title and the name, but don't want to benefit from the people that he's hiring. That's not who he is. The difference between Watson and Harden is that Watson actually wants to win a championship, while Harden just wants to get money and blow it. Why? He gets his opinions from Texans and Phillips. He doesn't have his own. What are you talking about? Who are you talking about, Joseph? You should come on with me tomorrow. Nah, man. Me and that channel will have some differences, which are beyond repair, to be honest. At this point, it's just my mood this following year, bro. Whoever fucks with the channel, fucks with the channel. Whoever don't fuck with the channel, go on and fuck yourself. That's how I feel. That's how I feel, bro. I've always been true. I've always stuck to growing organically, knowing whatever the fuck I know about growing the channel. People think this is my first rodeo, bro. It ain't. Texans gonna have to step up. Trevor Lawrence gonna throw for 100 yards with the corners. Trevor Lawrence, man. Trevor Lawrence is not going to be successful with the Jaguars unless... Oh, 713, yeah, he gets everything from Filter. But to his credit, Joseph, I will say this. Patrick Storm obviously is connected. I'm connected to some of the same people that Patrick Storm is connected as well. But, I don't know, they just, like, for instance, Aaron Wilson, they just treat him like shit. They treat him like he ain't nobody. Who the fuck is that guy? I mean, he only reports for the goddamn city. I mean, he's only at every game. I mean, you know, so I just find it very, very funny that people feel that certain way. And is that, I think people don't even feel that way about me getting info from Aaron Wilson. I feel that people feel like I beg Aaron Wilson. Yet all my screenshots with Aaron Wilson, if you look at it, it literally is like 1 or 2 liners. Literally, I have the guy's phone. Like, if this guy literally hate me, why would he continue to give me info? Why would he come on my channel and get an interview? Why would he give me his phone number? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this shit wouldn't happen. Like, I didn't have to beg that guy, bro. I didn't have to beg that guy. I literally had to ask him. Just like I've asked many players to come on the channel, and then next thing you know, some players have said, oh, I'm gonna do it. I'll be able to just hit me up during this time, and we'll be able to get it done. Some players straight up don't respond. And that's okay. I'm not going to get everybody. You know what I'm saying? I will tell you this one thing, though. I will tell you this one thing. This particular year, I tried to get that media pass, and Amy Pausick told me that podcasts don't get credentials. Now, people told me that basically that was a lie from her. Aaron Wilson told me that that is the case. So I'm interested to see, depending on who comes in now to manage all that next year when I try to get that media credential, I'll be interested to see what they say then. Especially now with the pressure on Cal McNair to really, really reach out to the fans, bro. Like, you got to open this shit up, bro. I'm willing to pay whatever the fuck I got to pay for these credentials. Oh, just open up the shit. Cal McNair, if you're on the stream right now, I know I said you don't know what the fuck you're doing, but if there's one advice that you need to take, just name your price, buddy. Name your price, and we can get the damn credentials, and we can get this motherfucker lit. Alright? Because I'm going to keep it 100. I ain't going to go around the damn bushes. We're going to do this 100. The problem with this team is still McNair, like no reasonable owner. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. McNair, it's tough, bro. It's definitely tough. Yeah, I know. And he literally claimed it. He said every decision was made while me knowing a decision was gonna be made. Like, he literally claimed the mistakes. But it is what it is, bro. At this point, we just gotta move forward. Shit. Talking about the Cardinals. I think today a report came out that Kyler Murray might not play this last week. I think the Rams are gonna be out on golf too, so might be some backup QBs there. Be interesting to see what happens. I'm sure I'm sure DeAndre Hopkins will probably feel like, damn, not this QB carousel again. Especially with the opportunity that they have to make to the playoffs, man. I'm sure that DeAndre Hopkins knows he's not going to win the Super Bowl, but there's one thing he wants to do is get in the playoffs while the Texans are not. So, you know, we'll stick to Madden and letting the Texans be in the Super Bowl this year in Madden. But yeah, man, it is what it is. I'm pretty sure all these pretty fans are gonna celebrate Hopkins missing the playoffs. I mean, it really doesn't even concern me. Like at this point, the dude is balling. He was always gonna ball. For anyone who thought that was not gonna happen, was fucking stupid. For you to lash out on a player who basically got judged because he had one too many baby mamas, who basically got judged because he had braids, who basically got judged because he was different than other people, or he missed a practice here and there but still went out on the field and performed. You got people, J.J. Water, calling out right now, talking about not only do they not show up for practice, but when it's time to play, the motherfuckers don't show up. Deshaun Watson, DeAndre Hopkins was just not one of those, man. Even with broken ribs against the Colts game, or was it against the Chiefs? Literally, the dude was still out there. Literally, still out there. What should I say about EB tomorrow? Hey, man, I would just say, do your research on the Vikings history that he had there. Do your research on the Colorado, because they're gonna try to bash the Colorado thing all day. They're coming at you with that. Like that's a given. And then just give the history on Andy Reid and everything he's done with his play callers, including Childress. Childress, who was under Andy Reid multiple times, once with the Eagles, went to Chiefs as well, who basically is who brought up EB in the Andy Reid tree. Everybody forgets about that, and everybody pretends like every enemy has not been under a playbook that belonged to Andy Reid for over 14 years. Nobody wants to read it. Nobody wants to fucking do the research. So what should I say? Easterby and Bob had a personal vendetta against D-Hop. Yeah, man. Yeah. You know what? What in one of those articles that they wrote for Sports Illustrated about Jack Easterby, they said what? They said that he was trying to put like, I guess like religious cards that people kind of felt like a certain way about them. And look, man, I've had that. Like, I was a guy who used to like give people like scriptures and stuff like that, and literally, I had a couple of people that literally would tell me like, "Hey, bro, like, I'd rather you not do that," or "I already have my own pastor. Like, I'd rather you not do that." And like, I didn't lose my shit over it. Like, it's not a big ass deal, but apparently it was a big deal for Easterby, and I think that really started the whole grudge, and then. You know, it's reported that Easterby was heard many times talking about we got to get rid of that guy. So I'm pretty sure it was Jack Easterby. A lot of this shit was probably Jack Easterby's idea. And Bill O'Brien, being who Bill O'Brien is, who basically is thirsty for success, thirsty to beat the Patriots, thirsty to be the Patriots, thirsty to be the next dynasty, fell into this guy's scheme. And eventually became one of his followers in everything that he did, and it ended up biting his ass. Because guess what? Easterby's still here, and your ass ain't. Although he obviously is getting paid handsomely, and it doesn't even matter because he's not stressing about coaching. But, you know. But, like I said, I'm convinced that by January 4th, we should have Easterby's resignation, some type of statement from the Houston Texans talking about that. Hopefully him out of the building, and like I said, that'll be the second biggest celebration for the Houston Texans, and I am here for it. But anyways, man, I am going to call it a stream. Don't worry about this game. I'm going to get it. We're not going to lose. I'm not Bill O'Brien, all right? I'm not Bill O'Brien. You can trust me. You can trust me. I'll keep Bill O'Brien in check here at the bottom. Maximum Overdrive. It's annoying how blatantly obvious how shit O'Brien was, yet they couldn't see it until it was too late. Yeah, McNair apparently saying that he didn't want to butt in. He didn't want to be one of those owners that basically micromanages, which is bullshit because he did micromanage, but he just thought he was doing the right thing. Oh, hell nah. You're not about to fucking... Oh, hell nah. Gary Jones, man. Look, man, Gary Jones is not going to be considered just because they don't value the fact that he hasn't been in any type of front office. I got nothing against the guy. I think he knows what this team needs. I think he knows the direction that this team needs to go to. and he's getting with his agent to try to get in front of the Houston Texans and get an interview. I hope the guy gets an interview to basically get some type of exposure. He wants to be a GM. I think I've heard him say he doesn't really want to hold like another type of office. But you never know. Things change. Maybe eventually he changes his mind and decides to take on a different role to kind of get his feet wet. WO has been gone after 2015 because yeah, I agree with that. Who's the locking guys for head coach GM? Oh man, I'm hearing a lot of crap, bro. But I know that the only reason that they're not high on Eric Bieniemy is because some of his criminal activity that happened over freaking 20 years ago, which they need to let go because the Chiefs have been successful and nothing has happened since that particular fucking time. About him, that's what I thought about him. Yep. McNair listens to his wife for football advice. Oh. His wife be bored at the games. Jesus Christ, bro. She'd be like, "What? Why did I marry this guy?" And then she remembers the money, and then she's like, "Fuck it, let's go, Deshaun." Shit. Who cares of his past? Yeah, exactly. But you know how it is with minority coaches, bro. They want them perfect. Shit, Obama smoked weed. He still voted for the motherfucker. I'm just saying. Now I voted for Obama twice, but. Looking at his track record and everything he did, definitely regret that. So we're not gonna hire Bieniemy? The heck, nah. I'm just saying they're not high on him because of his past. But if they can get over his past, remember he still needs to interview. So he needs to basically ace his interview. Like he needs to do well his interview. He needs to be prepared. He needs to have his plan in place. Deshaun Watson's already backing him up. Justin Reed is already backing him up, and there's quite a few more players who are backing him up. So, I don't know. He definitely has the references. So, we'll see what Mr. Cal McNair decides to do. Deshaun with the 6. Hit him with the hey, you can't stop me. You can't stop me, but you can't stop me. Hey. He does bad interviews. Yeah, that's what I've heard, unfortunately. That's what I've heard. So, hopefully he's learned. What about Salah? If EB doesn't get hired, we're just gonna have to settle for Salah, honestly. We're just like, please don't bring me the guy from Seattle. Please don't bring me the guy from the Bills. Like, it's another New England guy whose best friends is Jack Easterby. He introduced Jack Easterby to New England. Please do not bring Brian Dabble please. Please. And obviously the Seattle thing is more of a national media really losing their inside source, who was Amy Pulisic, and now they're basically throwing shit against up on the wall to fucking stick. So yeah, but Cal McNair not knowing what to do, yeah, my advice to him is just don't get that guy, buddy. Do not. And like I said, Brian Dabble, another New England guy, yeah, no, I'm good. Hard pass on that. Salah is overrated. I think it's talent too, bro. It's talent too. And Texas Thought said it in his video. He pointed out that to install his defense, he didn't even install his defense. It was somebody else that helped him install that defense. But nobody say shit about that. Don't nobody want to talk about it. It is what it is. Now, one thing I have not been with that guy laughing at Salah because he has injuries and all of a sudden they lose a game. That I have not been doing. So from that aspect, I have not been doing that. But that is the league. And look, like I said, he hasn't been making excuses. So I respect him for that. I truly respect him for that. But my thing is, to me, he's not the guy, bro. He's just not. It's what it is. Literally got no coaching tree. Literally, bro. Literally. Us not hiring to be is like the Jags drafting Justin Fields with the first pick. Woo! Can you imagine, bro? I mean, I don't know. They still got the. I'm curious to see what happens with the Jags. Like, I'm literally curious to see what happens with the Jags. Do they keep what's his name, bro? I can't remember the coach's name, dude. But do they keep him? Because I really think, like, it's time to move on, bro. Like, it really is time. Now, I get it. You know, they brought in what's his name from the Giants, and they thought that he was going to be a good front office guy. But He ended up screwing them, and they got to the AFC Championship. So I guess you could credit them for that. But man, have they mismanaged the picks that they've had, man? I mean, Ramsey, fucking. Oh, and the guy who I really want the Texans to get this offseason, what's his name? Yannick. Oh man, if we could really truly clear cap, as Texans cap has said on Twitter, it's a possibility is this team could clear anywhere from $50 to $60 million in cap. If they could do that, man, Yannick Ngakoue, bro, automatic, bro. Jesus Christ, get him. Greg Roman, I'm not high on Greg Roman. He has a mobile quarterback, and literally, I mean, Jackson is not an elite quarterback. So I will give him credit for that. But his scheme to me is nothing ordinary. And if you can't coach it up right and you're just depending on talent, we're gonna find ourselves in the same position that we find ourselves now in a couple of years, and basically, you know, we're gonna be basically trying to get talent because we can't coach nobody. And you need true coaches in here. You need coaches who are gonna develop players. You need a GM who's gonna be able to know his personnel and know how to draft, and that's just the reality of things. The OC from Buffalo, yeah, I'm not a big fan. Imagine if we're well, Kafka. Patrick Stone says Kafka is going to be, if Eric Bieniemy, well, not Eric Bieniemy, sorry. If they get the OC from the 49ers, that he's gonna basically take over that job. So Kafka's not no, but I am completely sold on the guy from the Lions, the interim coach. Bring me Bevel. Bring me Bemo, bring me Eric Bieniemy, and bring me Doug Peterson as an assistant head coach. And bring me that DC, that's the linebackers coach. You do that, and I promise you the Texans, bro, not only will they be in the playoffs next year, but they'll be competing. And in 2 years, when we really truly do have the first-round picks, yeah, we're going to be lit, baby. We're going to be lit. We're going to be back on top. We're going to be back in 2016, except the difference this year, and the difference in that year compared to 2016 is going to be that we actually have Deshaun Watson. We actually have an elite quarterback commanding the troops. You're shit at the game. I'm literally reading the comments and not paying. What do you see as a linebacker coach? Oh, I have it on my fucking Twitter. Hold on. I gotta get it for you, bro. Because now it's definitely bugging me. Don't. And I had it pinned, man. I should have fucking kept that shit pinned. Someone knows it. I know someone in here knows it. They've seen me post it. There you go. Kyle Dunbar. There you go. I appreciate that, Har. I appreciate that, bro. I really appreciate that, because that's going to be a lot of scrolling through my Twitter. I need to write that shit down. I haven't done too deep of a dive on Carl Dunbar, but he definitely is a guy that I wouldn't mind as a... Oh, he's a DL coach. See what I mean? Not too much research there, but I wouldn't mind him as our DC. People brought up, who did they bring up the other day as a DC? It was a different staff though. They weren't talking about Eric Bieniemy. They were not talking about Eric Bieniemy. But someone had mentioned Lovie Smith, and I was like, I'm gonna pass. And then Marvin Lewis, I'm gonna pass. Any coordinator positions for them. Now I get it. Marvin Lewis was a good coordinator when he was a coordinator, but I don't know. Not too sold on them. Who's our favorite for GM? Dorsey is my guy. And I'm hearing Dodds is not too fond of the Houston job, by the way. So I don't have nothing against Dodds, but I'm just saying, from what I've heard, he's not too fan of the Houston job. I don't know if it's more of a betrayal thing, which I asked. I said no, it's not a betrayal thing. But yeah, I think Dodds is wanted. And was it in Atlanta or was it the Lions that wanted Dodds? Honestly, I really think that the Lions are gonna end up with Salah. Like, it just makes sense, bro. He's a home kid who wouldn't want to make their city successful after so many years of going through the crap they've gone through. Great opportunity for him there. It just is what it is, bro. It's just is what it, now Eberflus. I'm not sold on Eberflus. Don't bring that guy up to me again, because you saw what the Colts defense just did. The Colts defense is overrated, bro. The Colts defense is very overrated. Dorsey, the guy that will screw over the cap here, and the cap's already screwed hard. What we need to do is right now is restructure and get players out of here for low picks, 4th, 5th, 6th round picks, and that is what John Dorsey does best. He did it with the Browns, dumped a bunch of contracts that didn't need to be there, listened to his head coach, and went and got the guys that they wanted to get. Also, a reminder to you guys, he is the guy who drafted Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill, Patrick Mahomes, Chris Jones. So the guy can draft. I'm okay with a guy that can draft. And like I said, I don't mind overpaying players that are good. If the player is good and you overpay him, guess what? In 2-3 years, he's not going to be asking you for a raise because you already overpaid him. It is the truth. It's the goddamn truth, bro. It's the goddamn truth. And people laugh because I'm like, well, even if John Dorsey only lasts here 2 years as a GM, but fixes this whole shit for you, and the next GM that can come in here can just take over, I don't mind that either. I don't mind that either. But we'll see. I know they don't like John Dorsey too much. Another guy that they're not too high on. But that to me is the guy. So it is what it is. Whitney for Raising Cane's play. Well, who says no? Right, Jesus, bro. I don't even know who would take on Whitney, bro. The plays that he's put on tape this year, like, you will have to go back to 2016. He'd be like, you see, he could be elite. He just needs the right, proper coaching. If you do that, you got yourself a hell of a talent. He's going into year 10, man. Whitney should just call it quits. Just retire. It's just the best. I think it's just the best option for him. Let's see. What are the Texans lose free agency? I hope it's not. The last thing I heard about Will Fuller is that his agent and the Texans were not seeing eye to eye. This was after his suspension. So it could possibly be that the Texans were maybe trying to lock him in for cheap, and maybe were trying to use the suspension as leverage. And I guess maybe that wasn't. I guess Will Fuller maybe was not too fond of it. But at this point, it's not just a suspension you can use as leverage. It's the health too, right? I mean, the fact that you got caught with this, you can make excuses about, seeing trainers, and I think that's another thing that we're yet to see. If a big lawsuit does happen with these guys, and apparently the doctor that got many players suspended or many players taking this product. Curious to see what happens there. I mean, from a team aspect, nothing's going to happen there. But from a justification aspect, Will Fuller could just be like, look, it's a one-time mistake, and it is what it is. But the fact that he's going out of his way to find something to stay healthy is the other red flag, right? Like, you were taking something to keep you healthy this year. Like, that's the reason why they don't want to give you top dollar, why they don't want to franchise tag you, because you're asking and demanding for top dollar, wide receiver dollar, and it's just like, the two just they contradict each other. So I wouldn't mind Will Fuller getting re-signed for, let's say, 10, 12. That means including a bonus maybe. A year. I would only do maybe a 3 year. How much guaranteed I would give him? I'm not sure. Not too much. Definitely not fully guaranteed. Brandon Cooks, people have talked that he might need to restructure. I need to look at his contract. Not too sure the amount that needs to be restructured with Brandon Cooks, or even if we should try to. Chad Hansen, obviously a good jewel that you were able to find based on injuries. You have, who else you got? Kiki, obviously out of the doghouse. Definitely needs to be better at not fumbling the ball, but I think that just comes with the territory, man. Kiki compared to DeAndre Carter, completely different. Like, DeAndre Carter was cut from the Eagles because he had fumbling problems. Like, that is the specific reason why this guy was cut. We picked him up. He did good for a couple of games. He had a chip on his shoulder, and then he reverted right back to what he truly was. Trade Fuller for Deshaun Jackson? Nah, man. Nah, at this point, you need to just, next year, you're just gonna have to draft. You're gonna have to draft that big receiver. Like, you're just gonna have to do it. You're not going to be able to do it this year, obviously, because, like I said, the only guy that you should be taking on offense should be a running back this year in the draft, and then everything else needs to be focused around the defense. But then next year, you know, your first round pick, very well, you could, you know, draft a big receiver, Andre Johnson type of big receiver, which is basically what this team needs. And yeah, man, and then Randall Cobb. I think if there was one guy that I would be willing to let go and part of, it's gonna be Randall Cobb. He's not as explosive. He's experienced for sure. And then you did see some type of chemistry between him and Deshaun Watson begin to develop, but not anything that I don't think that he can do. You know. So, what are your sources saying on your GM job? So, a while back, they put me on the fact that Petroff, who used to be the GM for the Falcons, who, by the way, I hate because he didn't have not one goddamn good pick. Like, maybe one. That was it. I think it might have been Julio Jones. That was it. And then, like, he was there for, like, a good 4 or 5 years, and the dude literally drafted no good talent. Apparently was high on the list. And so when I heard that, I was like, bruh, are you kidding me? But that list I'm sure has changed. And to be honest, at this particular moment, I really haven't asked who's been leading the GM. I know that their best interests are for people that are currently with teams that are going to be in the postseason. And until that postseason is done, and until they are able to interview those people, I'm really not going to dive too much in who's leading what, because that's going to continuously change, especially with the fact that they're only going to be able to list certain people based on who they've interviewed already. So, you know, it's just like at one particular time, we only had interviewed Louis Riddick, so obviously he was leading in that particular category. Let's say, watch. Oh, Coulter. Coulter sucks. He's trash. There was another better guy in that particular same school. His name was Parker. Look it up. Literally was better than Coulter. What did we do? They didn't draft the guy. Yeah, Coulter, another guy. I have no idea. Why? Why, bro? And it's not that people been holding him out. He's really just not that good. Borgonzi, I'm okay with Mark Borgonzi, honestly. I'm definitely okay. Any Chiefs guy, any Steelers guy, any Ravens guy in front office, completely can start interviews January 4th. Hey, Patrick, tell me if I'm predicting this right, but I'm predicting that Jack Easterby is potentially giving his resignation on the 4th. Please tell me that I am good in my assumption that this guy could potentially be walking out on the 4th, and the Texans sending out a notification saying they've been parted ways with this guy, because that'd be great news in the chat. Did you see Coulter being gone, or he stays? He's gonna stay because you drafted him, and he's another wide receiver. And look how long, you know, it's just what you do. You know, the next coaching staff has to have these people at least for another year. Now I'm not talking about defense. I'm not talking about hey, look at Patrick Stone. I bet. Patrick Stone, why are they using UBs passed against them? I mean, look, it's some high criminal charges, bro. So I'm not too mad about it, because I get it, man. Like, ugh. Trust me, I deal with criminal backgrounds. I look at criminal backgrounds on a daily, bro. When I'm hiring these folks, and trust me, on my end, it's like some things are just red flags. So I'm just hoping the guy can literally interview great, and then we'll be good. Man, what the hell, bro? Oh, hell no. Nah. Patrick be having some secret classified black ops. Hey, it is what it is, bro. Some things you just can't say, I guess. It just is what it is. Plus, if he wants to break the news, I mean, he's not going to break it on my channel, so that's the other thing, right? Let's go! Never played him. I mean, I don't really think Coulter's that good, bro. I really don't. Like, everyone's really, like, you also got to consider the school this guy played at. Like, it was not no fucking top school. Like, I get it. He was like doing his best there, but like, come on now. Ask Pat which coach we put in the wheels in motion for. He's high. Patrick Storm is high on my Bevel option as OC and Eric Bieniemy as head coach, and Dunbar as DC. He's high on that. He doesn't mind it. But I know he doesn't mind Robert Saleh. Like I said, that's really your 1-2, man. That's really your 1-2. Matt Eberflus, hard pass, bro. Hard pass. Hard pass on Dabble. Hard pass on him too. Kahali wearing low-key soft. Man, Kahali, bro, his hands. Kahali just needs to be calm, bro. I really think that he's like overthinking a lot of shit. It's usually what happens with some of these rookie players. They're just trying to do everything perfect, and at the end of the day, they focus on the wrong thing. They did the same thing for EB in 2018 for the Bengals, just as much for Vance Joseph. Yeah, it's just minorities, bro. It is how they treat them. This is how this league is. Pass on Lincoln Riley. Pass on Lincoln Riley, even though I know Spitz want him. Pass on Lincoln Riley. But anyways, man, I appreciate everyone coming through the stream. Mad love to everyone that came in. Had new guests on my channel today, so that was cool. Even people that don't agree with me, that's cool too. I don't mind it at all. Y'all know what it is every day. It's HTown, baby. Let's get it. Blah!